Jumbo Mambo Familia Angu Mimini Eli-Ben-Eli Babu Eli-Ben-Eli Karibu 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 Habari yako. It's a little late in the day on Sunday, but I had to get at least one video in, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to talk about a few things. But before I do so, let me invite all of you, if you have watched my channel, if you enjoy watching my channel, please like, subscribe, comment. By the grace of Allah, I have had some problems, and they are being resolved. So Allah is good. Allah is helping me resolve the issues that I had and everything. I just wanted to touch on a few topics that I find kind of interesting. I watched a video for a channel by the name of Joel Hansen. Oh, just a minute. I forgot to turn down the volume of my fire. I don't want anybody saying that it was so loud that they were having problems. But anyway, I watched a video that took place. It wasn't even recently. It took place a few years ago. But it's this channel by the name of Joel Hansen. And let me tell you something about America. Okay. America, and I suspect that this is also true throughout Europe. Very unusual place, and I'll tell you in what sense. In most of the world, Africa, Asia, and a lot of other parts of the world, people worry about having enough to eat. In America, people worry about being fat. And why does a person become fat? Well, for a lot of people it's because they overeat a lot. But the answer to that is more complicated. People in the United States are fat because Mara always likes to talk about how he likes to eat natural, organic foods. Believe it or not, there's a lot to be respected about eating natural, organic foods. In America, people eat all kinds of processed foods with all kinds of chemicals in it. And come to find out that here in America, a lot of people eat stuff that's indigestible, makes them put on a lot of weight, and adversely affects the digestive system. Currently, there's a medication called Ozempic, and I heard a video by Cat Williams, a comedy special by Cat Williams that he has on Netflix, and he was commenting how right now there is a drug epidemic in Hollywood centered around Ozempic, which is a medication that I take prescribed by a doctor. But the point is that a lot of people take Ozempic, that really don't need to be taking it. I take it because I'm a type 2 diabetes. I have type 2 diabetes. One of the things about Ozempic that's really, really good is it helps you lose weight, okay? Because if you have eaten unhealthy foods and you have developed type 2 diabetes, one of the consequences is that you put on a lot of weight. Well, medications like Ozempic help you to lose that weight, and it helps you to control your diabetes. But here's the thing. Hollywood is made up of a community of very weight conscious, appearance conscious people because that's their trademark, image. And a lot of these people are getting on Ozempic and abusing it. Ozempic can kill you if you abuse it, but people are so determined to overcome the consequences of eating unhealthy foods and eating them to excesses that they're even willing to take put their lives at risk. But anyway, what I was saying about Joel Hansen is they showed him in a contest, a jollof eating contest, and he ended up winning. This is a white Mazungu who's very, very slender, but he can eat a lot of food. But next to him there was a Nigerian man sitting down. Do you remember that dance contest where they at Villa Medellin, the festival to end all festivals and all of this nonsense? How they clearly cheated a man out of his winnings. Well, in this situation, the man next to Joel was trying to cheat, and he kept. First of all, he cheated. The contest people issued everybody a bottle of water. He drank his own water, and he reached over and took Joel Hansen's water and drank it, and then complained that Joel Hansen had some water that he bought for himself, blah 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 blah. And it's like, I'm looking at that, and I was saying to myself, let me not even ask what tribe that guy is. I'm pretty sure that I can take a good guess, and it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's like a man is trying to win a contest and everything. Okay, so he did some things that he shouldn't have, but I found the whole thing to be kind of funny. It reminded me of that incident with Mara, where they were going ahead and trying to cheat somebody out of out of his winnings. Speaking of Mara, I just wanted to say, it's like I might have said some things previously, about Rocio Cabrera being pregnant. And, let me just say this. One of the things in this life that I do not like to mess with in any way is a woman being pregnant. For me, pregnancy is a sacred thing, and God doesn't have accidents. When a woman becomes pregnant, it is the will of the Lord, and you should wish her well, because pregnancy can be a very dangerous thing. So it's like, if there's one thing I never have been comfortable about, is making jokes or funny remarks about women that are pregnant, or bad remarks. It's a lot of women have died during giving birth. So I'll just say this: I wish Rocio Cabrera well. I wish Marwa well. I hope that they have a happy relationship. I hope that they have a healthy child. I was talking to someone today about polygamy, and I'm gonna tell you the truth about what I think about Mara and polygamy. Here in America, don't be mistaken about something. Americans and Europeans practice polygamy, but they practice a different kind of polygamy. In this country, they practice something that I call serial polygamy. In Europe, they practice serial polygamy. In some parts of Africa, they're beginning to do it, but in a lot of Africa, they practice concurrent polygamy. What does that mean? Concurrent polygamy means that you marry more than one woman at one time, and all the marriages remain valid. America has a crueler system of polygamy, and this is how I see it. In a serial polygamy country or society, a man can marry as many women as he wants, but he has to divorce the woman he's with, then marry another woman. And what the tragedy of that is that a lot of the time, women who have children by a man end up struggling with poverty, trying to make it on their own, as the man complains about having to support the children. That's serial polygamy. In a country like Kenya, where a man can have multiple wives at the same time, the wife that was the first wife still continues to be the wife of the man if he marries a second woman, and he comes around, he visits with her, visits with his children, and hopefully help support the children. I know that that's especially true among Muslims. So my question to you is this: which is more just? A society that allows a man to have multiple wives at one time, or a society that allows a man to have multiple wives, but he has to divorce the wife that he's with in order to marry a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth? To me, it seems that one system is crueler than the other. Shout out to my favorite new channel, to the twins hang out in Kenya. Every time I see one of their videos, I have to say this is an excellent video, because they are. They did a video recently that I found completely fascinating. I come from the Dominican Republic, and in the Dominican Republic, where Maura incidentally was beaten up by the police, I think unjustly, but in the Dominican Republic, a man will marry whatever woman he wants to marry, whatever woman he can convince to marry him, and vice versa. And the consequence of that is that you have a lot of white women who maybe enjoy the long rungu that a black man brings to the table and marry a black man, and they have children that nowadays are being called biracial, but are in fact considered by mostly everybody to be black. In this society, if you have a little bit of black blood in you, you're considered black. And the twins were commenting on a video in which several young ladies who have mothers that are white were talking about how awfully they were treated by their mothers, how their mothers often made insulting remarks about black people, and something that's very common, how their mothers didn't even know how to comb their hair because they had black hair and blah 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 blah, and curly black hair. By black hair I mean the hair was very, very curly and kinky, and a lot of the time they went around uncombed because their mothers didn't go through the trouble of combing them and everything. I say that not by way of criticizing interracial marriages, but because of reality. When I used to practice law in the Texas Panhandle, one time a woman came to my office asking me to get her a divorce. This is a white woman, a Mazungu woman. And when I asked her why she wanted a divorce, no, she didn't want a divorce. She wanted to turn custody of her little boy over to his grandmother. And throughout the time that I was talking to her, I kept hearing a loud slamming sound coming from the waiting area. And finally I told her, excuse me, I need to go check and see what that is. When I went to the waiting area, the receptionist, I asked her, what is going on? What is that noise? And she whispered to me that old white woman was slamming that little boy against the wall. The little boy was half black. And I told him, hey, listen, why don't you let him come with me to his mother? The woman said, I don't care. The little boy came with me, followed me to my office. And when I sat down at my desk, I turned to say to the little boy, welcome in my office, and just to put him at his ease, that little boy threw himself in my arms. And I don't know what made me realize that I needed to see his back. But as he embraced me, I pulled up his shirt, and his back had so many wounds. They had been beating him really, really badly. Open wounds on his back. I say this to say that a lot of the time a woman will have a black boyfriend, Oh, and by the way, the mother did not want him. The mother wanted to give him to the grandmother because she was marrying a white man and he didn't want a black child around. You know, a lot of the time it seems cute, it seems funny that a man marries a white woman or a black woman marries a white man. What they don't think about is the suffering that those children go through once they come into this world. The black people will accept them with a kind of attitude, but nowadays they're messing it up even more because they're telling these children, you're not really black, you're biracial. And the only people that will accept those children and treat them with kindness are the black people, because in a lot of families those children are treated very, very badly. Folks, again, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please share this video. Please tell me what you think. What do you think about how the children of interracial couples are treated? Do you know of any stories that are interesting? Please comment below. In the meantime, I want to thank each and every one of you who has watched the video this far. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Asante Asana, Kwaheri.